free and fair play in primary elections, and of course talking about democracy, is it not only right that we bring these parties together into a contest, and whoever emerges then takes up the rights to run with the flag of the party?
I can understand you trying to make a case for the Northeast, but I want to tell you, I think Abubakar is the reason why the Northeast has not had a shot at the presidency. We asked Abubakar to be gentle and be calm, which threatened good opportunity. Good luck will have finished, and people would have been. He refused. He formed the NPDP due to his inordinate ambition and used that to bring the PDP down from power. When he got to the APC coalition, they told him, Buhari told him, I will do one term. The same I will do one term, Obasanjo told him. And as they say, the rest is history. So if Atiku Abubakar's miscalculations have undermined the Northeast, that is not my problem. All I'm telling you is when it's zoned to the South, the Southerners will contest. When it is zoned to the North, the Northerners will compete. So it is being zoned to the North. I think Abubakar was instrumental in bringing down the PDP and making sure a Northerner, President Buhari, became president. You see, there are other considerations for gladiators like me when I start this kind of things. I think it had changed the PDP. Most people didn't have the courage to do the things I did. And then because of that, I lost a lot of friends. And I continued what I was doing until P2B, at the beginning, who said no, he would not agree with me, he would not challenge Atiku. He was very respectful of Atiku. He said, no, that's my president. I told him, no, it has to be about us. It is our turn to be included in what we're doing. And the instrument of inclusion called zoning presents us with opportunity. And that's as they said, the rest is history. So understand where I'm coming from. If he had waited for Goodluck Jonathan to finish his term, today, unchallenged, Atiku Abubakar will have had his presidency and probably would have.
And Doctor, you also believe that if Peter Obi gets the ticket of ADC, for instance, Nigerian youth would pour in and torrent, just like we saw in 2023 elections, to vote in his favor?
I do not, mine is not to predict tomorrow. Mine is to instrument my work where I do, and to be able to present convincing arguments to the general population. And if they buy my argument and my strategies, then the rest will be history.
You know, I asked this question because not a few persons believe that Peter Obi has lost the love, you know, that kind of love we saw in 2023 as far as Nigerian youths are concerned. For some persons, if Peter Obi, you know, gets the flag of a political party, it just spells doom.
I am not here to predict the future. What I am, I'm a tactician. I'm a strategist. Because when I was telling Peter, I think you should run. And he said, why are you saying this? There were things that I saw. I said, for one, Buhari had signed the Electoral Amendment Act. People now will be forced to submit themselves to biometric authentication before they can vote. And that's why you didn't see those phantom numbers anymore from the notes. And then they had to now stop, switch off the server, and started manually trying to acrobatically write different numbers. And then they announced it midnight and they said the rest is history. But I am a tactician. As an intellectual, I look at what's before me, before I did what I did. Remember when I was doing that thing? One of the persons who opposed me after he invited me to his house was your former boss, Mr. Dogbesi. And he told me, what he told me actually gingered me. He said, the more people are preaching that nobody will vote for anybody from your side. I said, really? He said, yes. I felt that personally as a challenge. I understand Nigeria. I grew in the north. I can think like a healthy man, and I know what's going on. I'm also knew the things I can do when I propagate. started looking for candidates. First, I was able to convince Doyin Okupe. There were two of us in the PDP. So when we started that and we got traction, we came outside. Peter agreed. That was when people from everywhere started joining us. My friend and brother came to Congo. I met him first. He joined us at JP Hotel Central Area. And then the bandwagon, different people joined us for different things. As we can see, he didn't have to stay in power. He didn't know the reasons why I started when I started in the PDP that have grown this much for him to come. When I started, I had no candidates. Then when I had no candidate, people came, and the candidate became the head of it. What I'm telling you, national propagations and abstractions inside the PDP polls has not changed. I seek the inclusion of our diverse population in fixing Nigeria. I cannot accept Tinubu, a Yoruba man, that after 8 years, that another Yoruba man like Makinde should now come in and become president in a diverse society like Nigeria. It will not happen. Secondly, when I saw the war across the Sahel, and I knew Buhari wasn't able to control the Fulani militias, I told myself, and I said it on your station, on AIT, that none of us would be able to stop the Fulani war as it's sweeping across Nigeria. So for that security reason, I doubled my campaign. Most people don't see some of the things I see. You saw how difficult it was to even get people to intervene. He went to Benue, and despite him being in Benue, no arrest, it was waiting to complain. Why no arrests? Because the issue I put on him was heavy. That was when the 48 hours arrests were made. I'm afraid from the East. If Benue falls, the East will become vulnerable. So these are some of the considerations I have. And that's why I put up my neck and let's continue that campaign. I told people on your station, IIT, that it would be very, very bad to allow another person as weak on this terrorism as Buhari to take over power. Because since the war has been on, Atiku Abubakar has been not able to openly, publicly speak against the Fulani militia. And those convinced me that this is not who I should allow to do this.
Now, Doctor, it's a good thing. Just a minute. It's a good thing that you have so much confidence in your principle, and apparently you believe that he is, quote unquote, maybe the Messiah Nigerians are looking out for. But I will take you back to the rise of Labour Party before the 2023 election. You know, it was an unprecedented rise. We never saw it coming. And all of a sudden, from the obedient movement, we just had this boom in Labour Party. But is it some sort of coincidence that some of the key followers or key or ardent members of the Labour Party who had so much belief, just like you do, to your principal, Peter Obi, all of a sudden jilted him? Dumped the party also. Now, because I give you an example, you have mentioned the late Doyin Okupe in your conversation, for instance, but I would recall that the late Doyin Okupe also dumped the Labour Party, citing conflicts with ideologies. Now, Kenneth Okonkwo, one of the prominent spokesperson of your party, of the obedience movement and Labour Party as well, also dumped the Labour Party. Not just the Labour Party, he also dumped your principal, Peter Obi. And then we'll go on to one of the formidable voices in the Bring Back Our Girls movement, Aisha Yusufu. That one too had distanced herself from the obedience movement. Is that some coincidence?
Well, I'm happy you brought these things up. Since I started doing this thing, leading up to the time that I was able to enlist Peter Obi, he has never given me or I've never demanded for money. Kenneth was angry that Peter doesn't bring money. For doing it, God will bless his memory. I thank him for agreeing to what I said. But of course, the state came on him because of his work under President Goodluck government that he received dollar from the NFA, and that the dollar he received was more than what was statutorily under the law allowed for anybody to take. The dollar didn't pass through the Naira legal process, and that's why he was convicted in court. And out of that fear, he called him, was sat down, and he said they're even threatening him to go to court again against me and do this and do that, and because of that, I will withdraw. That's what happened. Me, myself, my hands are clean. The reasons why I have been able to do the things I've done in Nigeria and nobody has helped me is I'm a very contented person. I don't get involved in things that go wrong. I knew that a day like this will come. And of course, not a lot of people like me. There are those who don't like me in the PDP. There were those who just, even my own people from the Southeast, they looked me in the eyes, elderly people. They said, Kachi, why are you deceiving Peter? You people are doing this thing, you don't have structure. Well, I was angry. And when you're angry, you could just do it. And because of my anger, that it got to our turn to get included, they said no. And I said, this can't happen. And I started doing what I was doing. And with time, our preachings were being listened to a lot of people. As you rightly said, people say, but you don't have time. I said, I will manage. I will continue. And you saw what we were able to achieve in 8 months. So some people came in. And when they later found out it is a volunteer work, they left. Kenneth expected something. Once he said that Peter should have supported him to gain position in the Labour Party, I told him that if you take somebody for 10 naira and he gives you 4 naira, what you owe him is thank you. When we left the PDP, Labour Party gave me a platform for us to market Peter. And for that, I am eternally grateful to Labour Party till tomorrow. I'm also grateful to people like John Ogugbe. I'm grateful to Aki Oshindogu. I'm grateful to everybody who came to join us. But if I have not made money from these things, or I have not gained anything from these things, or I have not gotten position from Labour Party or anybody, I am not a member of Labour Party. Let me tell you again. I have never one day entered the offices of the Labour Party. What I gain, what we have, is the obedient movement. That's why we try to distinctively keep the movement away from political party. If I go to any other party, any other platform, it will be the obedient movement. All we have is our word and time. And that's why I said we would not allow Peter to be subjected to a dollarized contest. Let's just walk away from the old ways of doing things. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That is an economy. So knowing very well that we don't have the desperation of those who intend to keep the presidency in the north perpetually, if we get paid $30,000 as articles A that say, and they were able to pay more to defeat him, we don't have such logistics to go fight in the mud. That's not the kind of image you've been able to set and present for P2B will be destroyed should we get into such mode. And then I told them, whatever it is we're doing, we should not walk away from the original principle that actually started this agitation. And that is a need for the party to treat us the same way they treated the Northerners. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be treated better. So stop giving me rhetorics of it's my turn. The Constitution says no. In Ghana, the party has shown. Historically, Nigeria has had shown. In the 60s, after the British left, remember, Tafawa Balewa from the north was prime minister. Zik from the east was titular president. Awolowo from the southwest was leader of opposition. So it was well spread. Nobody pockets everything himself. This is how these things are. And since we have been that way today, look at the presidency. It's soon. The president is from the south, and the vice president is from the north. This
Now,
is the way
Doctor,
things are.
Doctor, if I may interject at this point, are your opinions or your thoughts arising from Peter Obi's inability to cow the leadership, the Mark-led ADC leadership at the moment?
Come again, please. Is my opinion what?
My question is, are your opinions or your thoughts arising from Peter Obi's inability to cow the leadership of the African Democratic Congress into doing his bidding?
No, no. It has nothing to do anything with Peter Obi. It has nothing to do. It's just I have been able to reach out to the generality and the diverse sectors that I worked with in the last election. And they say, Catch, I said, yes. The principles for which we formed the movement, have you abandoned them? I said, no. Have you been dollarized like Kenneth Okonkwo? I said, no. What is going on? I said, please, I will get back to you people. And then, nobody can ever do anything on his own. You need people, you need input. And I said, whatever the TC people are saying, members of coalition, the original reasons why we left and started the youth movement has not changed. We insist, in your good thoughts and calculations, please zone the presidency to the south. If you won't zone it, we're not going to have anything to do with you.
And are your demands not self-serving? Given that at the moment Nigeria is at a precipice, and for all Nigerians as of now, including myself, it is all about rescuing the nation, and of course regenerating what may have damaged over the years in this country. And a lot of Nigerians just want change, true change. That's all they seek. So one thing, when the ADC came together, the coalition came together under the ADC, there was one statement that caught across board, which is that the reason for which they are coming together is to unite themselves and then rescue Nigerians, as well as creating an alternative to the All Progressives Congress, because as of today, Nigerians are yearning for an alternative to the APC. Should the Labour Party and the Obedience Movement not be bothered about apparently creating that alternative rather than looking out for themselves? Shouldn't it be about Nigerians first?
Well, that's a very good question you've asked. I will tell you pointedly. You say rescue Nigeria from who? From who? From who? I ask you again. If you look at the people there, Amechi, Atiku, all these are the same people. These are the same people that formed the APC, brought in Buhari and Tinubu. Well, from who? That's why I'm telling you, let us try something new, something fresh. And that thing fresh is something I think I've been part of building. Why do you want me to go back to the same mess? I'm not going to make that mistake. And I've just told you, the reasons why I started the agitation in the PDP has not changed. And it is a need to have inclusion. The reasons why under President Buhari, Nigeria suffered 3 recessions. It's not because Nigeria didn't have quality people who could steer the economy. It was because Buhari kept choosing those to employ from his own side of the country. These are the same people who have come back to us. After Buhari to damage the country, you come back to me. You now want me to sell my conscience for you? No. I believe in what I believe in. And by the way, as you know, the presidency is in the South for now only 2 years. Do you want me now to become an instrument for sending it back to the North? To who? To who? To go and make Paul Biya president at 80 years? Do you listen to yourself at all? To go and make Paul Biya president at 80 years? I don't understand. Please think properly.
So if the presidency is in the South, like you have also said, and of course that is what it is in Nigeria now, we have a Southern president. Well, do you not also share in the opinion of those who believe that apparently the All Progressives Congress should be left with maybe a second tenure and, complete what it is that they have begun?
That's you're saying. It's an opinion of yours.
It's not an opinion. It's just a quarter of Nigerians have those thoughts.
Well, Nigeria is a diverse society, and because we are a pluralistic society, the nation of our country simply means we cannot all be in one boat. It cannot be a one-party state, so you have to see these things continue. But also in that, my campaign was it comes to the South. When it comes to the South, it's in the South now and it's in the Southwest. Yeah, but even though my own view was it should come to the Southeast, Obasanjo took it on behalf of Southwest. And also Vice President Osibanjo was there. So I was doing mine because my business is to recognize that Nigeria runs a representative democracy. And everything I agitate should primarily be in representation of the aspirations of the part of the country where I come from. And to do that, I need to find good quality soldiers that I could use to prosecute the war that I seek to go into, because politics is war organized along very civil lines. And so we have had Buhari for 8 years. Buhari became president as a consequence of the coalition built by Vice President Atiku and other Nigerians. So he should accept the consequence of his actions, that Buhari's 8 years is 8 years for the North. You can't finish 8 years for the North, and then you be banding rhetorics to me that I should not demand that what has been done to the North. Remember how Buhari came. Atiku was preaching to all of us that we should respect the sacrosanct nature of inclusion, that it is the turn of the North. That was why he didn't allow President Goodluck to complete. And then he went, and Buhari came in. So Buhari has come. I think that Buhari did 8 years for the North. That's all I'm saying. Don't, after you say, no, Buhari is from Katsina. I am from, no. Whether it is Katsina or Adamawa, the North is the North. The North has had been 8 years, instrumented chiefly by the works of Mr. Chikabuaka. So why would you now ask me, after Buhari's 8 years, you want now to come and to force me into a dollarized contest with Chikabuaka? I don't have that kind of way. No, I don't do that kind of things. I am not that foolish to get into the pit. For what? When you finished, the same thing Atiku told us in 2015 for forming the MPDP is now what I'm telling him. Okay? It is now time for that pendulum that swung to the North for 8 years to now swing back to the South for 8 years. And that's all I'm saying. I simply want to be treated the way the other people have been treated. So all these semantics of it's not in the Constitution, it is in the party's rules. That's why the party, when they make the chairman from the South, the secretary will come from the North. We have been practicing it for a very long time. That's the reason why we've been the way we are. So please, let us respect that inclusion which we practiced in Nigeria due to our country being a pluralistic society, respect the diversity, and allow inclusion to be part of our mechanism in governance of this country. And that's all I'm saying.
Now, giving you strong belief in the person of Peter Obi, what do you exactly think that he would do differently if given a chance to govern this country? Has his campaign strategy, has his campaign mantra changed? Are some of the things he campaigned about in 2023 not the things that the current administrations have implemented already?
There are no campaigns. The laws haven't opened to campaigns.
Yeah, we know it has not, but with Nigerians who want to know if his ideologies are different.
I don't know It is for Peter to sell what
But
he
you
has
are
for people
campaigning for
when
him,
they
so
sell.
it is only believed that you should know. Because for the only way you would believe in him is if your ideologies and that of a Peter Obi and then the general Nigerians aligns. That's the only way you can sell him to Nigerians and tell Nigerians that perhaps this is who they need at this material time.
It's like you didn't notice something I did during the last time. I served as Peter Obi Special Advisor on Public Affairs. You know, Dino Malaya served as Special Advisor Public Affairs to Mr. Atiku, and Festus Keyamo served as Special Advisor Public Affairs to President Tinubu. But if you notice what I did, I told Peter, you will go sell yourself to the public. The area, the times of candidates hiring talking heads to talk for them is over. And that was why you saw every time Peter will come. People would call me and say, what are you doing? I said, let him, he will learn on the job. That's why he didn't hear me talk. God asked them to talk, Chief Clark to talk, Obasanjo to talk. I didn't measure, nobody from the South is touched that it was done deliberately. So it is not for me to talk. It is for me to present him, let him tell Nigerians what he will do so that if he fails them today, tomorrow it is him. I'm not going to tell you what I don't know is in his mind. Peter, yes, go and tell them what you will do. And that's all. This thing you told me inside, I want you to go and say it yourself. That's all I'm doing.
But now, as a
So
Nigerian,
that's speaking for Peter Obi.
all right,
Let Peter Obi tell Nigerians what he wants. And that's why it's been so successful. That's why it has been so effective. Because a first-person communication is far more powerful than when you send a third party to go and say, they say.
Dr. Justice will wind down this conversation. It is a good thing that, okay, you're propelling him to sell himself more to Nigerians. But first, but as we wind down this conversation, I would like to ask you this. First, as a Nigerian, and then a politician who understands democracy, I would ask you, given the current situation of Nigeria, is ideological politics a way forward?
Our most serious problem and challenge today is the failure of leadership. The failure of leadership. So what we have to do is to find leaders who, through their past records, we could trust first by ourselves. Second, let them go talk to the people. So I'm not going to tell you about Peter. Peter will tell Nigerians about himself. And that's what I believe. That was why during the last election, you will see him come talk. You will see some people say, what are you doing? I say, let me try something new. This is what's going on in America. In a democracy, let the candidate talk to the people.
Well,
questions himself.
well, we must
talking heads.
Well, we must sincerely thank you, Doctor. We have to go at this moment. So we must sincerely thank you for your time with us. And of course, for this engaging conversation. I'm sure that this conversation goes out of the space. It continues on our social media handles across board on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and as well as TikTok. It's been live, and of course you can share your comments and observations as well as your opinions to this discussion as we further our conversation. It's been an eventful time speaking with a political analyst and a founding member or a founder of the Obedience Movement, Dr. Catch Ononuju. Always a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you very much. Good speaking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I am Chikodinaka Dili, and remember that you can be part of this conversation. All you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Facebook, as well as Instagram. The handle still remains at LJE Nigeria. See you again. Bye.